All right, let's see if we can get some more done. A little later in the day, my last video. Still on the same day, but I'm gonna start cutting away some stuff. Get the I'm gonna cut out some of this stuff here. Get this off of here right now, and then I'm actually gonna take the quarter panel, the original quarter panel. I'm gonna see if I can pull off some of the parts off of it. Let's take a look at it. So yeah, these supports here are pretty crusty. I don't know. We'll see. It's gonna take them off, not this thing. I'll make a new one of those. Yeah, it's kind of weird. It has a little indentation in it, doesn't it? I don't know, maybe that's for the different model. Had that or something. That's weird. That's not on the other side. It's only this side. Interesting. So I'm going to try to take these off and then clean them and de-rustify them and see if they're possible to reuse them. Because making these is a real pain. And all you need to do is just clean them and then make sure there's no rust on them, and then treat them and everything. And then I'm just going to put them on with panel adhesive on the new panel for support. So that's what I was thinking. We'll see if it works, right? I don't know. Find out later. Well, let's get busy and see what happens. Well, I was thinking about this ever since I put that rocker on, and I was going, something's not right. You know, I just didn't seem right. Now I got the tire on, and I know what's wrong. And what's wrong with this, guys? You know, hello. It's a single cab, and it has what, three? Let's look at here. How many inches? Extra inches. The bus, it butts up to the dog leg, and on the single cab you have that. I think it's 3 1/4 or 3 1/2. 3 1/4 inch thing there. And normally this rocker is used on both. So it's just supposed to shorten it and use it there. So now I got to shorten it the hard way. I don't know, either way is about the same. Not much difference. So I've got to take 3.5. That's why this thing looks so weird. I was like putting it on. I'm going, man, something just isn't right. I'm looking at it. That just doesn't look right to me. And so I got to come back 3¼ inches. So I got to add a 1/2 inch. So 3¼ let's see. So 2, I'll figure it out. So I got to take off, you know, add a 1/2 inch. So 3¼ this way, but add a 1/2 inch, whatever that is. And then take it off at the same angle as that. Think I can do it? I'll let you guys figure that one out. Well, here's how we'll solve the problem. All I gotta do is one cut the same as there, right? So 2 3/4. If you didn't figure that out already, you math wizards. Be a lot easier if I could just use a marker, right? It's black. So 2 3/4 is right there, and I'll double check the measurement. And just follow the same one. Back. Okay, all the way down it goes at an angle. And then it kind of gets a little straighter right here. Oh, nice. Tape doesn't need to stick. Try that again. Clean it. Start over. Alright, so I got my tape on there. I'll just cut this off real quick. I'll save you guys the ear noise. Put a little tape on there so I can see kind of until I beat it off. All right, well, that's a little better. Still got to beat on a little bit more, trying to get a little crisper edge. You know, I get my duck bill out and stick them in there. Something to make it a little easier. I'll try that. Well, that's certainly not the first time I had to fix one of those. Those Clocker home pieces are usually wrong anyways, but this was my fault. I just forgot. I was looking at it and I'm going, wait, there's something different about this. I don't know. I'll figure it out later. And later is now. Well, the problem has to continue, doesn't it? Gotta get this thing to fit now. So, well, I'm not ready to put this thing on anyway, but at least I got a continuous of my line here. I know it's at 15 inches, so it just needs to come over to about right there. Then it kind of walks its way down like that. No problem. Just got to cut it with the, I guess I'll just use this since it's right here. Since it's resting right there, I'll just go like this. Take that line all the way over to where I need to. Right there. Then I'll be putting a little piece in there to finish that out. So we'll check that out in a second. Oh, I think that took care of that. Now the trick is that this thing again is, you know, when you flatten that edge, it wants to stretch it. So I've got to shrink that, put that thing up in that shrinker. That's going to be a challenge, isn't it? Trying to get that long panel in there. I can do it. Just got to rearrange some stuff. Let's take a break from this thing for a little bit here. But the panel is on. I mean, I'm not ready to put it on yet. I just wanted to make it while it was sitting there. And gonna check this around this here. Make sure that it fits. Kind of do both the shrinks at the same time, right? Actually, it's gonna be really hard to shrink that one. I might be able to just do slick cuts in there. That'll work for that, and then shrink that one. Because this one's the more important one to shrink. Because otherwise it's going to hit the tire. That's how close it is. there's really not that much room in these old trucks. They had really tight tolerances, especially when you got extra wide tires on it. These tires are a little bit wider than the original ones, but to get the height, you got to go extra wide. So, oh well, it's all right. I can do it though. I'm not worried about it actually. It's just hot in here, even though it's like 100 something outside, maybe 99. In here it's still 76, but I don't know, for some reason it feels hot, you know. Not enough moon. When you're working in here, it's hot. So yesterday it was beautiful. Today it's hot again, and it's supposed to get really hot this weekend, but I won't be here, so I gotta go do stuff. Can do work stuff. All right, so I got this thing set here. Just gotta finish and make my little corner piece here. Make a little triangle piece for over there. That's how I usually do them. So I'll just go ahead and make those and shove them in there and butt them in nice. And finish up a little bit more and then do some filler. Oh, and one more thing. I just wanted to thank you guys for your comments. And, you know, I tend to talk about the negative ones because I think they're kind of funny, but I do want to tell you guys that I really, really appreciate your support. I call it really your support in like very positive comments. I've really been getting some amazing comments from all over you guys, and I really wanted to tell you guys that I really appreciate all of those comments you put in the videos, and I read as many of them as I can. Sometimes I don't get a chance to read them, but I say 90% of them I read. So I really appreciate it. And you know, when I say stuff about the negative ones, I just think they're kind of funny, so I bring them up. But I don't really mean to focus on those, because I do want to tell you guys that I definitely appreciate your comments, that you subscribers, and those things more than I actually do the negative ones. But I just bring up the negative ones because they're funny sometimes. You know, I think they're kind of morbidly funny. So I just didn't want to make you guys think that I don't appreciate yours. Thank you very much for commenting, and I'll talk to you guys later. Well, I'm not really sure exactly how much footage I have on here right now, but I've got to start working. So I'm going to be gone for about 10 days, and I wanted to have these videos kind of backed up for you guys to watch. So I got some seam sealer on here. Gonna let that dry. I figured it'd be a good idea to get some of that on there. I got a lot more to do still. Even all these corners here are going to get done. I'll wait and blow that one out really good. I blew everything out once, but it just seems like it's going to be really hard to clean this out before I paint it. So it's going to take me, you know, a couple hours just to blow all the stuff out of here, because I keep on blowing it and then it finds a corner to stick in. You know, I don't know if I'll get it all out, but I mean, I'm not looking for like a super clean paint job. Maybe I'll come in here with a vacuum first or something like that. I don't know. But I'm going to take that off. I'll show you what I did over here. I just cut it right here. Pulled that thing out of there. So I don't have to do the wires up twice, right? And be smarter. And then, so I've got to cut this thing off. I got grinding dust I'm going to have from that. These here I seam sealed in. I didn't really think it was going to be necessary to weld those in, and such a gap in there, and plus it would just be a catch-all for water and moisture, so I just filled it with seam sealer. So this seam sealer is kind of cool. This OSI quad, it's not really seam sealer. It actually works really good as a seam sealer. It actually does a little bit of self-leveling, so it doesn't look as terrible once it's dry, so it kind of starts to stretch out a little bit. So it looks pretty good, I think. Not bad when it's all done. And like I said, back in here especially, I have no interest in making this look really nice. I just want to make sure it's protected, painted, you know, and keeps moisture from getting in those cracks. Again, all this stuff was treated twice. So I went through and treated it once with rust converter, and then I treated it again with rust converter after I sanded it, because what happens sometimes is the rust converter kind of gets, you know, if you don't get all the scaling stuff off, which you kind of don't usually get it off. You just treat it once and then sand it again, and then you'll see where some areas where it's kind of brown, and then you treat it one more time, and usually then you can sand it, and even it's etched all the way into the metal. And even if you don't do that, it still lasts quite a long time and has good results. I mean, I've tested this stuff in the weather. I've, some of these chemicals, different products, but all of them kind of work the same. So it all depends on which one you like better. But I do it twice. I did it all twice. So everything's dead that you saw in the other videos where it had brown and stuff like that still, and some black rust. It's pretty darn dead now, and it shouldn't come back, in the my lifetime, and then probably a lifetime after that at least. Probably it won't be rusting out again. But eventually, if somebody leaves it outside, it's gonna, it's gonna rust. So that's what happens. It'll be new stuff. So anyway, I gotta get that panel off. And this one here, I gotta heat shrink that. It's sticking out a little bit too much, so I'll just get it hot and beat it back in with a shrinking hammer. We'll show that maybe later in one of the other videos. It's kind of neat to watch, and if I do that on hyperlapse, you guys have been watching some of my other videos when I was doing heat shrinking on the Westphalia. You could actually see the metal just as I, in the hyperlapse, as I heat it up and then tap it with the shrinking hammer, which I think I showed you guys in one of the part of the video. That's this hammer here. It's like this to kind of gather the metal. So it kind of, when you hammer with this, it kind of grabs the metal and gathers it. So when you use that and heat it, heat with it being hot already, hit it with this hammer, and then it just gathers it up a little bit and then makes it want to push down so it won't be moundy. So you do that, and then cool it off with a wet rag afterwards, and you could actually see the metal just drop down in one of the videos where I was doing the door. So it's, it's all just normal stuff you do, and of course it looks really neat with this panel on here, huh? Yeah. But it hasn't, of course, looks a lot better with that thing not sticking way back there. It looked kind of weird. It was kind of like, what, So it's still a little weird. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to look at the other side. Look at my other end. No, it's not weird. It just looks weird because it's sticking out. It needs to be put into place. I got to take it off again and shrink the edge so that it wants to roll. And then this will fit. And then, of course, I'll still do more hammering to this edge. And it's out too far for, on purpose. I made it out too far because I'm going to grind it. So the edge tends to get kind of rumply, and then when you grind it back with what's left, it'll be nice and straight. So, yeah, and then more hammering on that as well to kind of get a little bit straighter than that. It's kind of too rumply for me. But I'll just do that and then get this part done. I think there's another layer of metal that I need to put on here, just from here to here, because normally they had like a little top hat piece that goes on here, so it's kind of set up for that thickness, and I set up the holes for that thickness as well. So I might put another piece of sheet metal across the top. I'm not sure. I'll put the tops on and kind of check everything. We'll do that probably another video or two up. We'll be seeing the bed tops set on there, but I'm not going to paint inside after I put them on. I'm going to paint the bottom sides of them, and then I'm going to paint the inside of all of this here. All of this is going to get painted, and I'll just maybe put some tape on the tops here, and then I'll put it in, and I'm going to decide whether I might put panel adhesive to put those on as well, because if I heat it up, and I don't know, I'm just thinking about that. Tell me what you guys think on that. It's down the road a bit, panel adhesive, the bed tops on, probably be stronger. I don't know. And the thing is, I still would need to, hold them down tightly. So maybe if I could probably put enough weight on the top of here, just start throwing toolboxes up there. Maybe that would do it. And go that direction, maybe. Thinking about it. Panel adhesive is really good stuff. And then I didn't prime in between here. So I was thinking I was going to do that, and I forgot. But what I'm thinking I might do still on that is, at that point, shove seam sealer in here. Shove some seam sealer in here, or just or drill and spot weld it first, and then put seam sealer in here afterwards, and put the bed tops on and clean it off of the edge. Clean it off of here. Do the job fine. That'll still work. Because they didn't have anything in between those layers originally, except they just dipped it, you know, so it had that original kind of primer on there. So, and they always rusted in that area. I've seen so many single cabs with a rust, especially around where the holes are. So I've got some rubber washers too. So I've got like a stainless bolt that's going to go in here, a rubber washer, and a rubber fender washer, or a fender washer, a stainless fender washer. It's going to go over that to keep water from going inside there again. I don't know, something to try. I'm going to try to keep it from rusting out again, but you know, they didn't last when they were new, so I don't know. Anyway, let's keep moving on, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. Which, unfortunately, I don't know if this is going to be a short one. Hopefully it's long enough for you guys and has enough interesting stuff in it. So please make your comments, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. And when I get back in town, hopefully I'll have some progress to show you guys. Talk to you in the next one.